outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello and welcome to Country with Celine. He's had 3 consecutive top 100 singles on Canadian mainstream radio, nearly 1 million streams, and he's reaching almost 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. He also won the Boots and Hearts Emerging Artist Showcase, which landed him a single release with Warner Music Canada, where he released Couldn't Hurt. Please welcome David Boyd James.
I don't need to be at this bar with a pretty girl on my arm, but it's midnight, and one more Bud Light, everything nobody knows.
David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Celine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. So it's safe to say you've accomplished quite a bit within the given amount of time. And now you have a new single out, Couldn't Hurt, which was the song that you released with Warner Music Canada. It landed 47 on the Billboard Top 50, and it has 76,000 views already on the lyric video on YouTube. So how did Couldn't Hurt come to life?
Oh, man. Well, I got to tell you, Couldn't Hurt is actually now approaching 2 million streams, which is crazy. And the song itself, you know, when this kind of stuff happens, it's surreal, you know, as for me, I like to think back to the writing room, you know, sitting in a room with a bunch of other writers and trying to come up with a concept and an idea, to then going out to mainstream radio and to places like Apple and Spotify, Amazon Music. And then, you know, over the last 4 months, accumulating, you know, millions of streams. It's just wild. It's like, it's something that I can't even put into words how grateful I am. But the song itself came together. It started with my good buddy Aaron Allen, who is also a country artist here in Ontario. He called me up and he was like, "Hey man, I'm working on this song with James Barker and Joe Irving, and we're kind of stuck on the second verse, and we wanted to know if you wanted to take a swing at it." With no intention of me cutting it. It was just a matter of, you know, just putting my thoughts into the song, and I did. And at the time, James was actually on tour with James Barker Band in Ireland. Excuse me. And so, you know, I was up at the cabin fishing, hanging out, and I put, you know, my verse in, my idea, and James loved it, and so did the other guys. And so they were like, "Well, hey, why don't you see if Dave wants to cut it?" So, you know, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. I love the song. I think it fit well with what was going on in my life and in my career. And winning Boots and Hearts last year came with a single release with Warner. So Warner and myself were looking for a single to put out as my debut single under the Warner Music Canada family. And it all just kind of happened really quickly. So when they offered me to cut the song, I very quickly said absolutely. And Jeff Dalziel and I and the boys went into the studio, and we recorded it, and we put it out September 25th of last year. And the support that it has received is just mind-blowing.
No, I can't think of anyone else who could have sung that song better than you. Maybe because it's your song, but your voice with that song made it so perfect. And it's such a song that makes you want to dance too. Like, you have the voice where it's like the rock country, and you just gotta love it. And now you have a debut album coming out in summertime. So please tell us, what can we expect from that?
Oh man, I'm so excited about this. You know, we've all been locked up for the last year, and I know everyone has been affected by what's going on out there. And there's so much creativity going on over the last year. A lot of writers have had the opportunity to lock themselves in a room, no pun intended. And what better way to spend a lockdown than to put the pen on the paper or your fingers on the keys and write, you know? So there's been lots of writing and creativity going on. And I just wanted to put out a record that is going to be full of fun, you know, just a feel good, have a good time. And, you know, I've made a couple of bold statements and saying that when this record comes out, it's going to shake the dishes in your kitchen. So
I love that. I'm so excited to hear all the songs. And we really do need a good album to come out, especially towards the summertime too. Like, we've all been cooped up in our homes, and it's quite annoying at the same time, and it's stressful essentially. So we all need that just those good songs to finally come out and get us out of this mood. So I'm excited for your album, and I'm sure a lot of other people are excited for your album as well. And
Thank
now,
you.
yes, and now you won the Boots and Hearts Emerging Artist Showcase, like I was mentioning, which ultimately kind of put you on the road to release a single with Warner Music Canada. How grateful are you for that opportunity?
You know, I I mean, I didn't even think I was going to win Boots and Hearts, and that's the truth. Like, if anyone has ever seen the video of me winning the award, you know, Justin Tyler is such a talented guy and such a nice dude, and if you watch the video, you know, I was like 6-7 feet away from Chris Barkley and Justin Tyler and Stan Dunford and his wonderful wife, um, and I was just, you know, I was like, yeah, I'm the runner up. It's okay. Like, I kind of expected it to be that way. And when they called my name, I mean, I'm 36 years old now, you know, but when I decided to kind of go all in on music, I was 33, and I just wasn't happy with my life. You know, I wasn't chasing my passion, and it's not a matter of being famous or popular or anything. It's just, I love to sing, I love to write, and I love to play, and all of the accolades and things that have come since I've decided to commit to music are incredible. But when they called my name, all I could think about was, I am not going to waste this opportunity. You know, this chance I'm being given as an artist is something that not only am I insanely grateful for, but I'm not going to waste this opportunity. And never in my life have I been, you know, at a festival and been given a green room or a golf cart ride to the stage and all these things that are very new for me. And I've met some artists that, you know, I feel like have lost their way and forgot about that gratitude and forgot about how we all start in our bedroom writing songs and chasing a dream. And we get too caught up in the hoopla of the success. And so I'm insanely grateful. And, you know, Warner will tell you, anyone in my camp will tell you, you know, I'm no star. I'm no whatever all this stuff is. I'm just a country fan that's, you know, stuck in the greatest meet and greet he's ever been invited to. So I'm just really excited and happy. And I can't believe that I get the opportunity to go back to Boots and Hearts again this year and play on the main stage as an actual artist instead of being in a contest. You know, so I'm just really grateful. And I think the biggest thing to hit home is that without the fans, we're nothing. You know, we're just a bunch of people singing songs. Like, so, you know, being grateful and showing that gratitude is extremely important, not just for the fans, but also for yourself and staying grounded well, you know, through the ups and downs, because it's not all red carpets and rainbows, that's for sure.
You know, you hit so many points that we're going to get to, especially when it comes to the fans and the way you decided to pursue your music career, given in your 30s as well, right? It's really like a leap of faith at the same time. But I mean, like, for you winning the Boots and Hearts Emerging Artist Showcase, that's like a second chance ultimately at your life to do something which you want to do. And it's like God handed you this. He's like, this is what you're meant to do. I'm going to give you a big ass boost here. Take it and run with it, right? So I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for you. That's amazing. You have a lot of things coming your way, and I can't wait to hear the album. I can't wait to see you on stage. Just,
Wow.
It's going to be a great year for you. Hopefully COVID goes away soon, and then we'll see. I really hope Boots and Hearts happens as well. That's like, fingers crossed on that one. I hope nothing ruins it. I hope it all goes as planned. But now just going back to a song that you released called Whiskey Won't. So this is a previous song of yours. I just want to know, what was the story behind that one?
That song is about drinking and driving. So I lost a friend to drinking and driving many years ago. We were in Scouts together. His name was Paul McDonald. And I was working at Subway Sandwiches at the time. And about 6 of my buddies that I hadn't seen in a long time came into Subway. all dressed in black. And I made a joke and I said, man, you guys all look like you're going to a funeral. Like, why are you all dressed in black? And they said, we are going to a funeral. And I was like, oh, you know that moment where you stick your foot in your mouth and you can taste your toes? That was, that's what that was. And they said, we're going to a funeral for Paul McDonald. And I just like sunk. And I said, what happened? And they said, a drunk driver. And he got in a car with someone who was intoxicated and lost control of the car. And of course, the driver survived. That's just the way that goes. But he died. And I thought, I remember going up to, what's that casino in Aurelia? Casino Rama. I was going up to Casino Rama one day to see a show. And there was this cross. You can't miss it. It's like implanted in the ground. And these two young girls had been killed head on by a drunk driver. They were going to see a Miranda Lambert concert. And then it just got me thinking about country music and how we're constantly talking about drinking and partying and whiskey this and whiskey that. And, and I think that's all fine. But I also think as an artist, we are also responsible for delivering a positive message and encouraging people to be smart. I'm not up here telling people not to drink or, not have a good time. But I mean, we all know when we do a lot of these shows that there are people that are drinking in the parking lots and then they're driving home. And the last thing I ever want to hear is someone came out to a show and, having a few beers and then got hurt. So I wanted to put out a song about whiskey that did the opposite of what we typically talk about. So instead of what whiskey will do, it's also what whiskey won't do. And the whiskey won't is, whiskey won't bring you back. If something happens to you, you're gone, and whiskey can't fix that. And I feel like, turning to alcohol and drugs for relief from pain or suffering is something that we also need to be very careful of, because when we're gone, we're gone, and it's what we leave behind. So the concept of the song was just for people to, to remind themselves that the decisions you make today affect you, but they also affect the people around you. So the music video, at the end of the music video, there's a little PSA that says, drink responsibly. And that was really the whole point of Whiskey Won't.
It'll travel all the way down the long road of lonely and make it past to the other side of the heartache you left me. It'll get me buzzed, mess me up, and cloud my mind just enough to make me numb. But there's just some places where the whiskey won't go.
I just got shivers from head to toe as soon as you started talking about that. Some people just don't take any of that stuff seriously, and I mean, it's so sad. It's like there's so many tragedies that go on from this, and it's like people still continue to do the same thing. So with you sending out that message and using your platform as an artist to send out that message, that's amazing. And I really hope people start to pay more attention and be more mindful of that, because everything you do has consequences. I mean, you might not think it because you're living in the moment. Yeah, party, drink, whatever the case may be. But as soon as you take those keys, it's game over, like game over. But that's an amazing message, David, I have to say. But now going to more of a positive note, let's kind of transition here. In your Instagram bio, you have thoughts become things. That's you're saying, but I do know that was an album that you did release. But I have a feeling that that saying has a meaning to you. So can you explain?
First of all, thank you for such great questions. I do a lot of interviews, and I really appreciate when someone puts in thought, and you've done that. So I really am grateful for that. So thank you. Thoughts become things is my message is so much more important than the music. and the music is you know, the excuse to get people's attention so I can give them a good message. The message of Thoughts Become Things is just to encourage people. First of all, you know, whatever it is you want in your life, you can achieve it if you really truly want it. And you know, I used to be an HVAC salesman. You know, I used to sell furnaces, air conditioners, water heaters, and I did that for 11 years. And prior to that, I was in music my entire life, from the age of like 8 until 19, 20. And my point is that I truly believe within me, my purpose on this earth is to be a storyteller, to share stories, to encourage others to, you know, chase their dreams and just go for it. And my platform to express that message is music, because that is my passion. So my two passions are music and motivation. And motivation being to encourage other people. One of the things I'm not really public about, and it's not on purpose, it just doesn't come up, is I almost died when I was 5. I cut my right arm severely, and I have a scar that goes like, you know, a foot across my bicep. And, you know, for whatever reason, it wasn't my time, you know. And as I got older, I started to believe that the reason why I'm still here is because I have a message to deliver. And the message of the, you know, my delivery, or whatever you want to call it, is to encourage people to chase their dreams. And so if I can give up on selling furnaces and put my full-time passion into making music and a career out of music, and have, you know, a very small piece of success with it, I mean, then, you know, if I can do it, so can you. You know, it really comes down to how bad do you want it, and what does it really truly mean to you. So the Thoughts Become Things concept is, you know, have you ever heard the saying, you know, you are what you eat, you know, or you are, you know, you hang out with negative people, you become negative. You know, we have to be conscious of our thoughts, and we have to be aware of our surroundings. And so, for example, not to preach about it, but if all you talk about is, oh, I'm in debt, I'm in so much debt, oh, I'm in so much debt, and you're just surrounded by debt, it's just because that's all you're talking about. You know, oh, I want to lose weight, but all you're doing is eating hamburgers. It's like, how serious are you? You know, I'm trying so hard to lose weight right now because, you know, I stepped on the scale at Christmas time and I was 270 pounds, and it scared the hell out of me. And I thought, I can't go on the road when COVID's over and perform. There's no way. I can barely walk to the bathroom, you know. So I made a decision to be, you know, try and be healthy and try and watch what I eat and watch, you know, I cut out Bud Light since Christmas. I mean, that's really hard for me to do that. And, you know, so it's just, think of it like this. If your thoughts were Wi-Fi signals, right? And you are thinking these negative things, and you are thinking these whatever, even though you can't see those thoughts leaving your mind, they are going out into the universe, and they are bringing back exactly what you're thinking about. So it's like, you know, you think about what you bring about, you know? So for me, when I made the decision that I wanted to be full-time musician, you know, I didn't set a goal of, well, I want to be famous, or I want to be on the charts, or I want to win Boots and Hearts, or I want to sign to Warner Music Canada. My thoughts were, I just want to do music. That's what I want to do. And I want to try and make enough money that I can survive. You know, so it starts with the why. Why do you want to do something? And when you surround your thoughts with your why, and you focus on that, those thoughts will start to manifest into things. And you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, man, how did this happen? You know, I remember before I was even selected in the top 8 for Boots and Hearts, I was watching these videos. There's a video on YouTube right now. It's been living there since James Barker Band won Boots and Hearts, but it's a behind the scenes video of them leading up to their performance and then winning. I watched that video 1,000 times, And the day I won Boots and Hearts, I got a text on Instagram from James Barker himself, and I didn't know him then. And he said, "Hey man, I just saw the news. Congratulations on winning Boots and Hearts. If you ever need anything, shoot me a text. Here's my number." Now think about that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Watching this video, not knowing him personally, to watching him winning it, watching him, and manifesting these thoughts in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
to all of a sudden, here he is messaging, like, and I have endless stories of this, like Phil Barton being in a songwriting round and me being too nervous to go up and talk to him because, he's Phil Barton, and to all of a sudden him messaging me on Instagram and saying, "Hey dude, I'd love to work with you sometime." And I'm like, "What? You'd love to work with me? Are you kidding me? I can't even believe you're messaging me. Like, this is madness." And so I think the real stars are the ones that don't have egos. The real people to look up to and to take from are the ones that don't have egos. Because to me, those are the real heroes. Those people that are out there just crushing life and wanting to help other people when they don't need to. There's no reason for James Barker to message me. There's no reason for Phil Barton to message me. They're very successful, incredible human beings, but they're good people. And that's what makes them be who they are and have the success that they have, is because it's not just about them. It's about the love and passion for music. And to me, the Thoughts Become Things is every single time I have, a peak in my career or a fall down, I always go back to, I call it my gratitude bench on Marine Parade Drive in Toronto. And that bench is the exact same bench that I sat on with my coffee and muffin and made the decision. I was moving out of my condo, I was leaving my career, and I was going back into music. And I always go back to that bench and I say, as crazy as this sounds to the viewers, I say, thank you to the universe for giving me this opportunity and allowing me to continue on this journey. So that's what Thoughts Become Things mean to me. And it's just a saying that keeps me grounded, keeps me humble, and constantly reminds me of, where I started. And I heard a quote that is so cool. And the quote is, "You didn't come this far to just come this far." And that applies to everything in life. And I think in relationships, in work, in careers, in family, friends, when we show gratitude and appreciation, it brings an abundance, of that exactly into your life. But when we start walking around like, "Oh yeah, I'm a superstar and what's in my green room," and all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm. I knew that Thoughts Become Things. I knew there was a meaning behind that. And you know what, David, you and me think the exact same way. I'm so happy we're having this conversation, and I'm so happy that you were saying that, because thoughts really do become things. They do. If you're manifesting that you don't know what you want to do with your life, you're broke, like you were saying, you're like your friends are negative, if you surround yourself with crappy people, you're not going nowhere you're not going anywhere in life, essentially, right? You have to always be positive. You have to surround yourself with really good people. You have to have your head screwed on to your shoulders.
And can I share something with you?
Yeah, no, go right ahead.
There was this thing. There's a movie out there called The Secret, by Rhonda Burns, and it's really worth a listen. And there's another movie called what it's actually called this exactly. I'm not censoring it. What the bleep do we know about the rabbit down the rabbit hole? And it's a 4-hour movie, and it's about quantum physics and science, and it's incredible. And Mother Teresa said, and I'm not, super religious person or anything, but Mother Teresa said, "If you invite me to an anti-war rally, I'm not interested. But if you invite me to a pro-peace rally, I'll be there." So some people listening might say, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, is understanding that difference and rewiring your mind and your paradigm to understanding the difference. When you're walking around saying, "No war, no war," what word are you repeating?
War.
Exactly. But if you go to the same extent and say pro peace, what word is the universe hearing? What word is your mind hearing? It's hearing the word peace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's all in how we say things. And how many times have you been in a relationship or even with friends and you think, I really don't like the way that person talks to me. You know, if someone came up to you and said, I mean, think about it as a kid, you know, maybe your mom comes in the room and says, clean up your room, it's terrible, you know, or maybe your dad comes in and says, hey, do you mind cleaning up your room? You know, or vice versa, right? It's in the tones, it's in the way that we speak to people, it's in the way that we communicate. I think communication is something that's really lacking in today's world. And, you know, and that all circles back to what happens, you know. People don't forget things. And I feel like if we are more in tune with what we are saying and what we are thinking, it'll blow your mind when that stuff starts to come to you. I mean, I could tell you stories of things that have happened to me that they just don't make any sense other than it's the universe corresponding with my song, with my message. And when the good comes to you, you must take a step back from the victory and be grateful. You must. You know, when I won Boots and Hearts, I still haven't celebrated winning Boots and Hearts. I still haven't celebrated. And the reason why is because, you know, it's like I heard a really cool quote the other day, and it was, how can I celebrate last night's game when I have to play tonight? You know, how can I celebrate last night's victory when I have a game to play tonight? And the concept of it is not to not celebrate, but the concept is to just keep moving forward and be grateful, because there's no finish line. There's no making it. You know, someone has said, "Oh, you're on the radio now. You've made it." I haven't made nothing. I'm this small in the pool of talent in this country, and we all have to support one another and elevate one another and push one another. And the moment we think we're better than someone else, or we start drinking our own Kool-Aid, as they say, you're toast, you know? So it's just remember when you were a kid and you had the dream of singing a song or being a firefighter or a firewoman or whatever, you know, you remember the dream and go back to that, because that is why you are where you are, among having amazing supporters and people helping you.
I love it. I love it. I freaking love it. Everything you said, I really hope people take that into consideration if they think otherwise than you or than me. It's all about life is already planned, in my personal opinion. God has already planned our lives out. It's up to us to try to figure out exactly what we were put on this earth to do. And the more we think of like good things, like the more you surround yourself with good people, the more you manifest, I am healthy, or I am destined to do good, or I'm going to do this. You have that drive in you. You will figure out what your purpose is. Exactly. Just like how you figured that out with music.
I feel I want to share one more thing with you, and then I'll get off the
Go right ahead, David. The stage is yours.
No, but I'll share something with you that was extremely prolific for me. When I was in a period of my life where I had a lot of questions and I didn't really know what I should do, it was 2017, and it was in May of 2017. And I used to go visit my grandparents at the graveyard, because they have both passed. And I would go and I would sit on the ground where their stone is, and I'd smoke a cigar. And, you know, I would just talk out loud, and obviously no one talked back to me, but I would talk out loud and just get my thoughts out. Mm-hmm. And you know, give me a sign or give me something like to tell me what the hell do I do? You know, like I don't know. And I swear to you, this is exactly what happened. I got up I started walking around the graveyard because it's a very quiet, peaceful place. And I ended up walking, and I found this stone that said, for those of you whose lives still flowers, even death you cannot save. It's what we do with the waking hours between the cradle and the grave. I've memorized it. And it was this like moment of like, whoa, it's what we do between birth and death. Is now here's the craziest thing. I'm standing in this massive graveyard in Mississauga, Ontario, and I'm the only person there in above ground. And I thought, looking around the graveyard, I am the only person here in this space that still has something called opportunity. The opportunity to go out there and do something with my life. Now, whether I decide to or I decide not to, the unfortunate side is the people below me do not. Their time has ended on this earth. So think about that. The next time you feel demotivated, or the next time you feel like you can't do something, I have a fan in Ohio who has a very serious cause, cerebral palsy. And we were talking on the phone one day. She asked if she could talk to me, and I said, yeah, of course. And we got on the phone, and she said, the one thing I wish I could do is run. I can't run because my disease doesn't allow me to run. And I thought to myself, what? We're sitting here complaining about nonsense things, and there are people out there that just want to run and they can't run. Like, give your head a shake, right? I mean, and they're so positive, these people. They're so uplifting because they've been given a battle to fight, and they have to fight it. They don't have a choice. It's either sink or swim. And these people that have been given these really rough roads, much rougher than us, are happier than us. They're more positive than us. They see the brighter sides of things better than we do. And I feel like we can learn from them. So these little things that have happened throughout my life have given me a stronger appreciation for a lot of things.
And they kind of shape you into the way that you are today, into the man that you are today at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So,
my father was a huge advocate for fitness and for motivation. He always would tell me, chase after what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The movie that we used to watch was The Pursuit of Happiness with Smith and his son. And the quote at the end, or it was more in the middle when he was talking to his son on the fence and saying, if you have a dream, you go after that dream. If people will tell you that you can't do it, that's because they can't do something themselves. So then they try to throw that onto you. And I mean, that movie stuck with me. I watched that when I was a kid, and that quote just stuck with me for the rest of my life, even up to now. Like that kind of shaped me into the person that I am today as well. And even Rocky Balboa, those movies too. Remember the movie when he's talking to his son and he's saying how about doubting and winning, that's how winning is done. Like don't blame don't how did it go exactly?
It's not how you can hit, it's how hard you can.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. How hard you can get hit, because that's what life does. It hits you and knocks you down, but it's about how you get back up, right?
Right.
Yeah, that motivation, man, like it's just, and you have to be grateful for what we have. When you look at other people, like you were mentioning with your fan in Ohio, and my dad even showed me a video before of this little boy, not a little boy, but he was like young, and he didn't have, I believe he didn't have legs, and he had to lift, right? He wanted to lift, and he did it. And it's like, if he can do that with no legs on his, like, you know what I mean? It's just, we can do anything, and we're given that opportunity too. We are like full we don't have to suffer. We don't have to deal with those type of struggles. Like, it's just, everything that you said, man, you hit it on the point, like on the noggin. I'm sorry for swearing. Like, I'll censor that out.
Okay. But you know what? But it's not, don't apologize for your feelings, and that's the thing. It's like our we, especially like, on camera, some people, they become, a certain person.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, just be you, do what you do, whatever you do that, but there are people that have made a living off of just being themselves, and that's how fans really start to gravitate towards you, because they look up to the fact that you are not afraid to just be yourself, and I think that is, we live in a culture where everything is so judgmental, and everything is just like, well, what do you think of this, or how many likes did that get, or how many views did this get? I mean, who cares, really? I mean, just put it out because you like it, and that's it. I mean, it's like, I did a show 2 years ago, on a pretty big stage, and I met an artist that is a very well-known artist, and they came off the stage, and I said to that artist, "Hey, what a show! Like, great show." And that artist looked at me and said, "Yeah, thanks. It's just another night." And I thought, wow, I never want to get there. I never want to get to a point where I stand in front of 40,000 people and go, well, now that that's over, I'm going to pour myself a ginger ale. Like, it's sad. It's really sad. But you know what? The worst part about that is, I know that artist is just trying to be cool, just trying to be like, yeah, right on, man, like, because there's an insecurity there to go, yeah, can you believe it? Like, I can't believe, like, I get to do this for a living.
Yeah.
I got to sing at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, and the video is on my Instagram. And right before I start to sing, I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Because it is. It's like,
yeah.
Like, we don't have to try and pretend like, like, yeah, I'm down at the Bluebird tonight. Like, come on, like, this is a dream to be doing this. Like, 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 I don't know. It's like people are nervous to show humility and to show that, like, I don't know. I just,
You just always have to be true to yourself. You have to, if you are feeling something inside that's making you think like, holy shit, this is so sick, I can't believe I'm getting to do this. But then if you're going to put on the persona and say, yeah, that's so cool. No. Like you said, you should be, holy shit, man, yeah, this is so sick. That's your mentality. Exactly. I like that. Show how you feel. And how I swore earlier, because that's how I felt.
Then who cares? Like, I mean, I listen, I get it. We, when you're in the public eye and you're doing this kind of stuff, yeah, you gotta, be a certain way or follow certain rules, and sure. But at the same time, it's like, people need to remember, we're people.
Yep, still human.
We're people. It doesn't matter what we do for a living. Who cares what we do for a living? We're humans, and we all go to sleep and close our eyes the same way, and some of us sleep in different directions than others. I like to starfish. That's just the way I do it. And if you don't like
Oh my God. I'm sorry. David, you're hilarious. Oh my God. That's funny. Yeah, I know. We're all human. We all do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
We still, we shower, we go to the washroom, we go outside, we walk, we do this. Yeah. Go to sleep. So.
Yeah. And I think that the sooner, going back to thoughts become things, I think the sooner that we realize that, everybody poops, there's a book about it. You know what I mean? I mean, the sooner we realize that people on a rock that's turning really slow, and the sooner people will stop drinking their own Kool-Aid and just start living their and finding their tribe, and stop begging people to understand you.
Mm-hmm. And everyone too, they find whatever they're destined to do when it's their time to find it too. So I mean, don't put too much pressure on yourself too. If you want to find that, you'll find it eventually. Everything is timed. It will all happen. Everything happens for a reason, right?
I,
I loved everything that you said, David. You are one of a kind. You are hilarious. Let's just get to know you even some more. So tell me, where did you grow up? Toronto, correct?
I grew up at Lakeshore and Mimico in Toronto, Ontario. I was born at St. Joseph's Hospital, and I grew up with both my mom and dad. They're still together. They've been married 43 years now.
Wow.
But yeah, I grew up as an only child in Toronto with a massive family. My mom had 13 brothers and sisters from the same mom. My father had 2 brothers, and one of them has passed away. So
you're sorry. Who passed away? Sorry.
my dad had 2 brothers,
Yes.
and one of them passed away. But on my mom's side, she had 13 kids. And in the past year, I lost an aunt and an uncle from that side, but very big family.
That's a really big family. I'm sorry for your loss, but that's a huge family. Holy jeez. And you're an only child, like me.
Yeah.
We get what we want.
They
Exactly.
have, no, we can't. We don't want 2 of those.
Oh, that's funny. So like you were mentioning before, you were saying that you were surrounded by music when you were around like 8 years old to 15. You like surrounded yourself around music. Who were your musical influences?
I mean, to me, I'm a huge, Elvis, Johnny Cash, George Jones, Waylon Jennings, George Strait, Dolly Parton, Minnie Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Patsy Cline.
You like the old time country.
That's what I grew up with. So my family plan, and so growing up in the house, it was like a lot of East Coast music, a lot of old country. And I mean, I'm also a massive fan of Ray Charles, Frank Sinatra, Lenny Kravitz. To me, these people all have one thing in common, and that thing is they don't care what people think. They're doing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And they just do it with pride. And when they walk on the stage, they own the stage, and they're grateful to be there. I mean, it's something that a lot of people don't know about Lenny Kravitz is when him coming up in the 80s, his Mama Said record, that was the first record he put out. He was black and he was singing rock and roll, and the labels didn't support it. They wanted him to go and sing other styles of music that they felt were race specific, which is absolute nonsense. And Lenny Kravitz said, "The hell with you, and I'm going to do it myself." And he learned to play all the instruments, and he put out this record that is mind blowing, and better than any of his other stuff that he ever put out, in my personal opinion. Go listen to that album, and then listen to his earlier stuff, and that's where you see the machine kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
Of commercial radio and them changing him. Kid Rock's another one. His first record he put out, it's his middle finger on the disc, and the middle finger is to the record companies because no one wanted to support him. So he, same thing, learned to play all the instruments, did his own record, and put his middle finger on the CD, and he put it out.
Kid Rock does not care what people think.
Johnny Cash, the famous Cash middle finger picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't even know what that's from, and that was him telling the press, to go to hell because he wasn't going to change his style because the country music was evolving into more of a pop specific genre, So I mean, for me, it's about the music, but it's also, as I got older, about the person and the character. Mm-hmm. Because I think as we get to know artists and see what they're about, and then we go listen to their music, we're like, oh my God, like now that makes total sense,
Speaking about you love your fans. And I was reading a post that you wrote on Instagram, and you were saying that you always try to meet your fans because basically they come from Timbuktu to come and see you. That rhymed. I didn't intend that. And you were also saying that some artists like yourself, they kind of, not like yourself, I mean some artists other than yourself, they kind of forget how to appreciate fans and whatnot. So just talking to you, what has a fan done to you that has made you feel extremely grateful?
Wow. I mean, just saying, you know, the just from I mean, I've gotten things from, letters, digital letters, to people getting tattoos, to um, a lady quitting her job, selling her home, and going back to school to chase her dreams to become into the music business. People have messaged me and said, the thoughts become things, inspire them to get their driver's license. I've had multiple females message me and say they've left abusive relationships. I mean, to me, that is worth so much more than anything that fame and notoriety could bring. I think one that really stuck with me was there was a lady who her son had committed suicide, and my song Another Day, she said, really helped her and is helping her get through that. And
Mhm.
you know and it's like it's a weird thing, because it's like I don't know what to say, you know and so it's I just think the message of music is so much more powerful than we realize. And sometimes I'm sitting in a room doing songwriting, and songwriters will say, okay, well, we can't say the word lake twice in the same paragraph, because and it's like, guys, this is art. We can do whatever the hell we want to do. There's
Mhm.
no rules. And I feel like in the corporate side of the music business, it's like, it's not so much that there's rules, but there's expectations, because it's commercial, right? So for me, when my fans are reach out with as small as a thumbs up, or it could be 2 pages long email, I read them all. I read every single one, and I try to respond to every single one. And I probably spend an hour every night to 2 hours every night before bed, like trying to like the things and respond. And because, again, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about them. And I'm happy. I'm doing what I love. I'm singing, I'm recording, and I'm happy. But when people respond with that, um, that means the most, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I've gotten some pretty, actually, here, I'm playing with it as I'm talking to you. One of my fans, one of my big supporters, had this bracelet. I don't know if you can see it.
I I can see it. It's on your. Isn't it a necklace?
Yeah, they had this made. I don't know if you can see that.
Is it engraved?
Yeah,
I,
it
I
says things.
what does it say?
Thoughts become things.
Wow,
So
she
they,
did that for you. That's
yeah,
so touching.
she had it made, and the day that she gave it to me in front of her, I put this on my necklace, and I told her, I promised her, I said, I'll never take this off my necklace. And anywhere I go, no matter where I am, I always have these two necklaces on. Always. They don't come off my body. So like that kind of stuff is just, it's crazy, it's like, it's so great. And there are times, Celine, where I sit there and I go, none of this makes sense. Like, how is this possible? Like, my song just broke the top 50, and I got Future Star with iHeartRadio and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is bananas. And then, I remind myself, no, it's not bananas. You are working hard to
Yep.
deliver a message,
Hmm.
and and it's being intercepted, and this is the path. And just enjoy it, and be grateful. But I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of us around the world trying to do this. And the fact that the stars have lined up for me in a small way, to give me an opportunity is. Have you been to Nashville?
Yes, I went in 2019.
So, coolest thing I've ever done in Nashville. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of cool things that
Yeah.
I've great to experience. But one of the coolest things I ever did, I was down there with my band, and we were standing on Broadway, out in the street.
Mhm.
The next day, we were meeting up with Jamie Tate to record "Ready for a Good Time," and I was just standing there, and the guys were like, "Okay, are you coming? Like, let's go and have a drink." And I said, "Guys, just stop for a second. Do you hear that?" And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Listen to all the music." The funny thing about Nashville is when you're on Broadway, you can hear hundreds of bands at the same time because it's bars. But then when you go into the bar, you just hear that band.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I told them, I said, think of all the bands that are here in Nashville right now, sleeping on couches or living with friends, or all chasing this dream to go in a studio and cut a song to put it out to radio. And we're doing that tomorrow. And it was like this moment where they're like, wow, I never thought of it, you know? And after we won Boots and Hearts, the first rehearsal we had, we walked into the studio, and before we started, I always start with thanking my band for being there and saying, you know, I'm grateful that you guys are here and doing this, and thank you for your talents and time. And before we started, I said, think of how many bands come through this studio and practice for hours and hours and hours, hoping to get a record deal, you know, hoping to get that shot. And here we are, signed to Warner Music Canada. Like, mind-blowing stuff, you know? And I think all of those things are like a part of this crazy pie, and the fans are what hold it together, you know, truly. The fans are
Yeah, you know, it's surreal, especially like that's an amazing feeling. But you worked your butt off to get to where you are too. So you mean you have to give yourself a shit ton of credit as well, right? The stars aligned for you, but you're the one who really worked at it and made it happen for yourself. And Nashville is an amazing time, I just have to say. It's freaking awesome. Have you decided, well, would you move to Nashville if you have to, or would you stay in Canada?
No, I wouldn't move to Nashville. I mean, I rent a house down in Nashville when I go there. But yeah, I would, if I could financially afford it, I would buy a small house, you know, down in probably East Nashville, and just have a place to kind of hang out when I'm down there. When I go to Nashville now, I don't really go to Broadway. Like, I go maybe one night that I'm there. I have a lot of friends down in Nashville now, so we all just kind of do the local thing, or we have a fire in the backyard and we just kind of hang out and have a barbecue. But no, I mean, if I could pick anywhere to live in the country, it would be like super north or out west.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, to have a house in Nashville, whether you stay there or not, that would still be amazing. Like, even to rent out, to go there when you go, like, it's crazy. Yeah, Nashville is a goal of mine, manifesting, so I had to put that out there, that I want to move there. But
before 2019, they were estimating about 100, or is it 1,000? I can't remember. It may have been 1,000 people a month were moving into Nashville. That was like the statistic.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, I feel like Nashville is such of has really opened the eyes to a lot of people wanting to move there now, especially if you're in like the music business. Like, I was speaking to a girl from Ottawa, in Ontario, and she moved to Nashville about 5 years ago. Her name's Angela Marie, and she was telling me that she pretty much lived out of her car because she wanted to try to make it big. And I mean, you have to really have guts in order to do that. Like, to go there, to really want to pursue your career in music, you're living out of your car. She told me that she made up a fake management so she would get bar to go play at bars, or to try to get a single out. Like, she was doing like everything she possibly can. And I mean, for you worked your ass off, and now you were handed the Warner Music of Canada. You're signed to them, so you have great things ahead for you. And I mean, that's such a huge stepping stone too, right?
You know, getting the single deal with Warner was the test. You know, they were going to put out this song. Let's see how it does. And you know, since I started in 2018, we've accumulated close to 4 million digital streams, and it's just crazy. You know, it's nuts. And I mean, to have Warner, this record that's coming out in the summer is coming out, is being put out through Warner. So I'm just grateful that they're signing me up to go another round. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to us as artists to put in the work and show the labels that we're worth investing in. Because, you know, I tell people all the time, like, you think you're good, you think you're talented, go to Nashville. Just go walk the streets of Nashville and you'll see talent. You know, the first night that I got off of Broadway, I went back to my where I was staying, and I was like, I need to practice. I need to really practice because the people down there are so good.
Yeah.
They're so good. And, you know, so I think Nashville is a good place. It's a humbling place. But the producers we have here in Canada and the studios we have here in Canada, you know, are incredible. You don't need to go to Nashville to songwrite. You don't need to go to Nashville to record. Jeff Dalziel, who is my executive producer and my mentor and very good friend, you know, multiple time CCMA and CMA Ontario Producer of the Year. You know, he won a Juno with the Washboard Union. I mean, the guy is just decorated from head to toe in awards. He is the most humble human being and the most honest human being, and I will be working with him until the end of time. So,
I guess, you know, I guess it's just that people, when they think of like the country scene or music, they think Nashville is where you should go. Nashville is the destination for country music, but they don't really realize, like you were saying, there's a shit ton of country talent, and not just country talent, like talent here, period, in Canada, whether you're a producer, whether you're an artist. So, I mean, staying here still is a really good choice, especially.
I'm gonna tell you something. That chart, that top 50 Billboard chart's got a lot of maple leafs on it.
I got it. Yeah, no, it does. It does.
A lot of maple leafs on it, and I'll tell you something. You know, the talent right now in this country, yeah. And I'm sorry to everyone else watching outside of Ontario, but the talent in Ontario right now is so crazy amazing. And across the country, don't get mad at me now, everybody. Across the country, it's good, but Ontario is on fire. But the writers are, I work with a lot of people from the States, specifically, obviously, from Nashville, and they all tell me, like, the Canadians are everywhere down there, you know, and it's awesome. I think it's really cool.
No, it's amazing. It makes you so happy to hear that as well. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to interview all of you guys. Like, there's so much talent, like so much freaking talent out there. And when I started this up, I didn't realize how much feedback I would get from all these artists saying, I want to be on your show, I want to do this. And then when I hear their music, I'm like, oh my God, you want to be on my show? You're this good? You want to be on my show? So I'm appreciative of it. It's crazy. Now, David, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Answer as fast as you can.
Right.
And then, yes. So first question, where is your dream destination to travel?
Travel?
Yes.
I think I'd like to go to Bora Bora.
That's like me. That's literally the place I want to go. It's, oh my God, ever since Couples Retreat with Vince Vaughn, count me in.
And hey, Vince Vaughn is there to hang out with. I mean, come on, that's perfect.
I'm down for that. I'm down.
I would be a stage 5 for sure.
Yeah. What's your favorite dish? Favorite food?
Favorite food? Ribs.
Ribs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, country boy. Favorite movie?
Celine, I'm not eating salad over here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, favorite movie?
Oh, Step Brothers.
Are we like the same person or something?
Come back. Yep.
Yep. Fuck, that movie's the shit. Okay. Oh my god, I'm swearing so much with you. This is crazy. Okay, how about pardon?
I'm bringing out the best in you.
Yeah. Okay, and how about last one? Favorite TV show?
Oh, Schitt's Creek. Easy.
Everyone's been saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so good. The show has a lot of nonsense and silliness, but it has these like little gold nuggets of restoring humanity that is just so unique. And it was filmed, well, the outside scenes were in Goodwood, Ontario, and the rest was done in Toronto, and the hotel is out close to Hockley Valley. But it's Canadian. I mean, they just cleaned up at the Emmys, you know, so it's just so cool.
I feel like I should really give this show a watch.
I'm going to check in with you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, see, I'll watch my first episode maybe tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I like it or not, okay?
Oh, man. It is so good. It is so good. It's so funny.
Okay, well, now you got me intrigued by it, so I'm probably going to watch it soon. But thank you so much, David, for joining me today. I should also mention that you are up for a 2021 CMA Awards, plural, I should mention. So I want to wish you the best of luck with that, and I really can't wait to hear this new album, and I'm sure all of your fans can't wait as well.
Thank you. And before you go, I do want to say, not just for myself, but on behalf of the country music community, thank you so much for creating this platform for artists like myself and all of us to get out there and get to know the fans more and spread a positive message. It's thanks to people like yourself that take this initiative to do this. And, you know, people need to know that, you know, these interviews, you're not getting paid to do this. The hours that you have to put in to upload this and do all that work, not getting paid for that. I'm not getting paid for it. This is strictly for the love of music and do what we do. So thank you so much for doing that.
My heart, oh my gosh, it's gonna burst. Thank you.
But the sun comes up and the sun goes down. I breathe in and then I breathe out.